This is a Riz device for MetaHuman. Full pipeline, from 2D reference to a fully rigid Unreal Engine asset. I sell assets like this on Fab, 8 to 10,000 a month, every month. No clients, no deadlines, no studio job, just assets that keep selling while I work on the next one. In the next 12 minutes, I'll walk you through the entire AAA pipeline I use. Blender, ZBrush, RizomUV, Marmoset, Substance Painter, skinning it in Blender, and Unreal Engine integration. Every stage in production order. This is an advanced pipeline. I'm not gonna slow down for the basics. If you're already comfortable in these tools, you'll get more out of 12 minutes here than from a 5-hour tutorial somewhere else. Let's start with the reference. I start with a 2D concept generated in NanoBanana, then I turn it into a raw 3D base mesh using an image to 3D AI tool. Pick whichever you prefer. This AI mesh is never the final model. Guys, the topology isn't usable. The details fall apart on close inspection, but it gives me an accurate, scalable silhouette, and I can use it as a reference anchor. From here, pure manual work. So, the first stage is blocking stage. Using basic primitives, we simply replicate the shape and silhouette of our device. We divide it into separate objects as needed. Next, we'll detail the display. We'll detail the display using bevel as well as the Boolean modifier. To make our work more convenient, we immediately align the symmetry, then detail the small objects, and can also cut out shapes for better detailing of our device. Where needed, we make adjustments, making our object resemble the real thing, and then move on to deeper detailing of each small object. To speed up the workflow, I work in single object mode, copy polygons, and detail these elements. Then I can separate all these elements into individual objects. Once the base mesh of our display is ready, we move on to modeling the strap. We copy part of the arm, build a curve, and also build a mesh that will run along this curve. Using the array modifier as well as the curve modifier, we run our mesh along the curve, adjust certain aspects, round the edges, and add buttons. Next, using the same principle, we build the cables. After that, we can detail our object with the finest details. And using the Boolean modifier, we correct and add various details. We cut out new elements and also adjust those that were already modeled. We also pay attention to our reference mesh and add fine details. Next, the following stage will be the optimization of our base mesh. This is necessary so that our high poly turns out to be the highest quality while not taking too much time. Therefore, where needed we triangulate, and where is not needed we do the opposite. Remove triangles and keep quads. However, we must not have any n-gons. And at this stage we don't add bevels. So Blender phase complete. Next, ZBrush. So quick note before we continue. If at any point you want the full version of this pipeline, every step, every setting, every shortcut, I have a complete course. And right now I'm running 30 to 50% discount codes for viewers. Drop 3DM in the comments and I'll send you yours. Now back to ZBrush. Next we move into ZBrush and import our base mesh as separate subtools. We need to lock the edges using the crease tool so that our topology does not smooth out during subdivision. We use both automatic and manual crease settings. We add subdivisions and recalculate our topology using the Dynamesh tool. Where needed, we go over the surface with the smooth brush and fix any artifacts. And we do the same for other subtools. We add crease, recalculate the topology, and also use the polish tool to form bevels. Once we have prepared the foundation for our high poly version, we can move on to detailing it. First, we'll cut the bevels and add some minor damage. We'll also add scratches using the damp standard brush, as well as the morph brush to restore certain areas. We go through all the subtools of our object and don't forget about the strap. Now we can move on to detailing using alphas. We select the necessary alphas and load them into the ZBrush project. Following the reference, we add various elements. Next, we try to immediately correct any areas where we accidentally crossed over onto neighboring sections. And we use the morph brush and end up with a sufficiently detailed, high-quality, high-poly sculpt. And here's the final high-poly sculpt we made. We optimized it in ZBrush with Decimation Master with default settings applied to all subtools. Then we exported it to Blender and put it into a separate high poly collection. And now we're gonna compare the low poly to the high poly and then do any extra cleanup and set up sharps. Then let's jump to edit mode and carefully check how closely the low poly topology matches the high poly. This specific area was highlighted earlier as it sits perfectly flat against the plane on the high poly model. We can safely optimize it on the low poly version as well. It's critical to leave this specific line intact because without it, you might get shading distortion during the baking phase. So we're gonna keep that edge loop. So overall, the mesh is solid. We're gonna assign the sharps. So the low poly shading recalculates perfectly and we can safely apply the modifier. After assigning sharps to our low poly object, we can move on to creating its UV map. I create the base UV maps in Blender and then finish them up in RizomUV via the bridge. All the parts now have their own UV islands. Then let's isolate it and then work on properly aligning them in preparation for packing. Everything is ready and cleanly packed into a single UV space. Next up, baking in Marmoset Toolbag. We're gonna bake our detailed map from the high poly to the low poly model. We set up the cache for each element. Unlike Substance Painter, here it can be conveniently controlled manually. Right. Once the cache is completely set up for all of our bake groups, let's save the scene and press bake. Every single detail is captured perfectly. No artifacts. The entire modeling and high to low poly baking process is complete. Now, Substance Painter. We create a new base layer and set up the metallic, roughness and base color maps. On top of that, we add another layer with a roughness map, make it more matte, and add a mask to create irregularities on the roughness map. Next, we add one more layer for dark spots on the metal, make the roughness more matte, adjust the metallic and base color to be darker. Add mask and configure its depth. Next, we create another layer to achieve a worn edges effect and add the mask to it. To create the edge wear, we use a generator. We also add an additional layer on top of the mask to make the edges more uneven. We then add another fill layer to create scratches and configure the scratch map. Next, we create a rust material using a base material and a mask, and configure the mask parameters. By duplicating another layer and replacing the generator with a fill layer using the scratch map, we create rusty scratches. We then select only the element that will be metallic and use a brush on the mask to remove rust from areas where it's not needed. Next, I created the colored metallic parts using the same principle, as well as the plastic connectors and cables. This is how I created the display material and the fabric material for the strap. At the end, I exported the textures, and that's it. Next up, skinning in Blender and Unreal Engine. Finally, first, we'll start by fitting our asset to the anatomy of the hand, aligning it accordingly. Next, we'll physically adjust it so that the strap sits on the forearm, while trying to preserve the original vertex proportions. Then we will address the skinning, taking into account that this area uses twist corrections. I'll explain its mechanism in more detail, how it works, what types exist, what problem it solves, how it can all be implemented in Blender, and how it all works in practice in Unreal Engine. Taking these specifics into account, we'll modify the skinning so that it works correctly for the end user across various mechanics. After that, we'll move on to scripting. In this case, it's an improvement based on the previous video with the jacket. Here, we will create a script that will allow us to remove unnecessary bones that are not needed for our device, while keeping the main hierarchical bones that are required for correct operation with the Epic skeleton. In the final part, we'll create an Unreal project based on our already prepared Unreal Engine project in which we made the jacket. We'll import our assets into this project. Then we'll create a material along with the textures that we will import. After that, we'll also create a tool that will allow texture customization directly in the editor. Afterwards, we'll set up material instances, assign the corresponding texture to them, and apply them to our device. Then, we'll carefully remove our previous assets and update the structure of our blueprints so that they are more universal and ready to be applied across different scenarios. Next, we'll restore the body of our MetaHuman, which was damaged as a result of cutting out the overlapping parts. And in the final section, we'll create a physics assets, generate LODs, and produce the renders that are necessary for presenting our asset. Yeah, that's a lot of steps. And I just showed you the compressed version. The actual production took me close to 15 hours. But here's the thing. This complexity is exactly why this niche still works. That technical barrier is what keeps the market alive. If you're a 3D artist who's already comfortable in these tools and you want to see the exact pipeline broken down stage by stage, not in 12 minutes, but with every single step, every shortcut, every reason behind each decision, I built a full course around it. The course also includes the profit formula side. Unit economics, niche selection, pricing, everything that turns a good model into a good business. Link in the description. And one more thing. Because I know the full course isn't a small investment for everyone, I'm running personal discount codes right now. 30 to 50% off, depending on what you need. The full course or just specific modules? Here's how to get yours. Drop the word 3DM in the comments below. I'll reply with a link to my Discord where I'll send you the code directly. By the way, the course also includes the complete pipeline for creating a soft surface model, a jacket. Go check the program. This isn't for everyone. If you are just starting out, save your money. Go learn Blender first. But if you've been making assets for a while and you are ready to turn them into real income, that's exactly what this course was built for. Like and subscribe if this was useful. See you in the next one.